Committee. Hi, everyone. Today is Friday, October 18th. It is a little after 10:30. This is our second Dryden Fiber Broadband Committee meeting of the month. This is the Public Broadband Committee, open to the members of the committee, town board members, our vendor partners, public, the press. Anyone who wants to come and hang out with us for an hour, learn about what's going on with Dryden Fiber. I sent this agenda around to our email list a few minutes ago, so you have a copy of it, also displaying it on the screen. And we have some new members here, at least one new member. We'll do some introduction. I also thought maybe we could do the org chart to give some refresher of where we are as an organization. Talk about business tiers, marketing, construction, mapping, MIP, ongoing support, a lot of things, try to get that all done and be done by 11:30. So we have an updated mission to have a volunteer who's not Graham to read the mission this month.
I'll go.
Thanks, Mark.
Sure. Our mission is to provide reliable, affordable, high-speed fiber-based internet access. We offer state-of-the-art technology and unmatched customer service.
Awesome. Mark, you've been around this committee for a while. What does that mission mean to you?
Well, as someone who works from home, it's important for me to have reliable internet access. And, I think the steps that we're taking to make it something that the town provides as a benefit for the people that live here is really attractive for people like me that work remotely. And I think it'll make Dryden a good place for people like me to live.
Awesome. Yeah, we had a Dryden Town Board meeting last night. Dan and Jason were there. Dan's not here today. Jason is. And one of the questions from the town board was, does Dryden Fiber being in existence help improve property values here in town? And we did some quick researching, just looking on Google and seeing some different reports from real estate agents as well as from fiber associations. And it's anywhere from 1.5% to 3.5% increase in property value by having broadband. It's like 1.5% if you have internet, another 1.5% above that if you have fiber. So it improves the overall value of people's property by even just having it, even if they don't have it at their house, just by having access to it when they're trying to resell their homes.
And I would say, as a landlord of one place, is that it has been very helpful. We have people been really excited that they got fast broadband. So
nice. Yeah, it's pretty competitive out there to get good tenants, and this is a way to be competitive as a property owner. Cool. All right, so we do have a new committee member. Arthur was approved by the town board in the month of September at their September meeting. So I thought we would give Arthur, a minute, 2 minutes, not an hour, just introduce yourself, talk about why you want to be on this broadband committee, and anything else you want to tell us about living in Dryden. Arthur?
Yeah, cool. Thanks. Yeah, I was here last week. I didn't want to pop in though because we ran a little over time. I didn't want to waste everyone's time and leave it a little longer. But yeah, a little bit of background about me. I actually just moved here from Madison, Wisconsin. Kind of a little bit of timeline, I guess. I graduated UW-Madison, computer science degree, environmental studies degree, and a theater degree. And then I also went to Madison College, a little technical school. When the pandemic hit, UW wasn't great at the computer science program, so I did an IT network specialist degree with the technical college there. And then I started working as a DevOps engineer at a company called Electronic Theater Controls. I still work there. They're based in Middleton, Wisconsin, which is just right outside of Madison. But yeah, so then at the time, my fiance, she was taking a gap year after undergrad, and she decided to go to Cornell for vet school. So that's why I am here in the town of Dryden. Yeah, and I'm still working remote, so that's why I am interested in the broadband committee. But I'm also really interested because it's a municipal broadband service, which I find really interesting. With my environmental studies background, I have a little bit of background in government and NGOs and that kind of thing. So being able to see how a municipal service can come in and compete with, the big brand names. Like right now, I'm kind of locked into Spectrum. I don't actually have Dryden Fiber yet. Surrounded by green, but I'm not green yet. So I'm just waiting for that day to come. But yeah, I have never liked being locked into vendors like Spectrum and stuff, and having a municipal option is super cool. So that's why I'm here.
Great, welcome. Any questions from the committee? You can't kick him off, he's already appointed, but if you're just meeting Arthur, Graham, Mark, Tony.
Welcome, Arthur.
Yeah, welcome.
Thanks.
We are also Cornell people in that I've worked at Cornell for 42 years, and my wife works in the vet college, actually in the New York State Diagnostic Lab, where she's been for 37, something like that. 35. But anyway. So a lot of Cornell affiliated people in Dryden.
Very true.
Because it's on the right side of Cornell, so you don't have to go through Ithaca to get there.
Yep, exactly.
And you don't get the sun in your eyes when you drive in. That's the real
That's right.
key. So
The wind's at your back.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
right.
All right, well, welcome. Feel free to email Graham, Tony, Mark, connect with them, meet in person. They do exist. I think I've seen everyone in person at least once. So they do exist more than just on the Zoom.
Yeah, we're all real people, it turns out.
Yeah,
No AI board members
want-
yet.
and we're all connected to Cornell too.
If you want to register,
yes.
if you want to request service, Arthur, you can do that today.
I've already done that.
You had done that. Awesome. Cool.
But Arthur, I am just like you. We are surrounded by green, but my neighborhood is still yellow.
It's coming. It's coming.
Yeah.
All right. I want to show the org chart. I think you can see this, right? Is that displaying? All right. So I made this for a number of different proposals, grants that we try to apply for. They always want to know what org chart looks like. So the top is the town board. Town board is the elected governing body that oversees the entire project. They're the ones who said, we've been elected by the people, we've listened to people, and they said to move forward with a broadband initiative owned by the town. They appointed me as Dryden Fiber Executive Director. So that's why that line goes to me. And then the Broadband Committee, they appoint the Broadband Committee members, and the committee works directly with me on advising, recommendations, really in some cases boots on the ground, like as customers, as prospective customers, tell us what's going on. Below me in the org chart, finance and admin, both those are jobs that are done by town employees. So Amanda does all of our finance, bookkeeping, accounting, AP, AR for Dryden Fiber. Admin support is being handled by Cassie, who is the, I don't know her title, is it secretary for the town supervisor?
I think it's assistant.
Confidential secretary, I think is the
Yeah.
official.
Oh, confidential secretary, but
That's the official civil service title. Cassie does provide some admin support to help us with some outreach and marketing, some planning. We have a marketing person who does about 20 hours a month to help us out. And then all of our subcontractors, some of them are listed here: Hunt, Syracuse, Integrity, Clarity Connect, Gleeman. We have a few other partners who we work with to help build the network and to construct, as well as do all the installations and support. I can send this over to you, Arthur, so you have a copy of it. It lists out the titles, what they oversee, and the different tasks for each different parts of their roles. So I'll share that with you.
Yeah, thanks.
Can you share that with the whole committee, please?
Yeah, we refreshed this pretty recently, so I'll share that with you.
Yeah.
I'll put that on the to-do list.
Can I just say one thing, Dave?
Yeah.
When you say this town, what the town did is they actually surveyed all the town, got a survey back about internet, tried to then get a vendor, I think, to try and do this for all of the town. and they could not find one. So this is how it sort of morphed into this wonderful project we've got of municipal fiber internet.
Yeah, we should have recorded our presentation that Ryan, Dan, Jason, and I did to the provided to the American Planners Association, because it really gave a kind of a deep dive, hour-long history of how it came about. But it did start with a grant that funded a survey. I believe something like 97% of respondents were pro having municipal broadband, and then looking for how to solve that problem. So that would an outside company come and do it for us, or we have to do it ourselves? And as Graham just said, this is the path that we're on, which is the town owns it, operates it, and provides the management of the partner contractors to help build it.
And the underserving of businesses not providing it to all the residents, which is one of the big keys of what we're doing. So
That's right. That's a big part of history. Is we, and Jason has all the details, but it would probably take an hour to go through all the history that he spent over the last 15 years trying to get Spectrum, who is the incumbent, to reach all the unserved and underserved homes across the town.
Yep.
We'll do a quick update on the business tier. So 2 weeks ago, we approved the business tier, and maybe it was even 4 weeks ago, the last time we met. Drafted a letter to our current business tier that's been approved by our technology partners at Integrity, that we said that they can perform what we said we're going to do in the business tier, and the language is all correct. We'll be sending that out on Monday to our current business tier customers. We've updated the business tier content on the website with the new pricing and the new features. And our new postcards of business tier, I have some feedback I've received. I have a little bit more. It looks similar to the postcards we're sending out to the residential prospective customers, with just a little bit of twist, because these are for the business tier, with the faster speeds, static IP, prioritized repair for outages, and just the price difference because it's a business tier, and because they have faster speeds, the other features of that. So we'll get those postcards. We may or may not print those right away, because something that's not on this list, which is getting a new phone number for Dryden Fiber. Right now, we are piggybacking Town of Dryden's phone number, 844-8888. When you want to reach Dryden Fiber, you have to hit option 2, and that will direct to Integrity, that does all of our support for both installations and any support that's needed. However, customers sometimes don't hit option 2 and end up calling Town Hall and talking to the clerk or talking to other departments. Sometimes people who are trying to reach Town Hall hit option 2 and end up causing Integrity to handle more calls, somewhere between 30 and 50 calls a month that are non-Dryden Fiber calls. So Amanda and I are working on a new phone number that we can use that is just for Dryden Fiber, and then we'll want to put that number into all of our material instead of having the 844-888-8888 number, putting our new number on there.
And Dave, I want to say something about our unmatched customer service here. You actually get a person within a minute or so, or a couple minutes, unlike when I had to deal talking to a Spectrum. So this is where some of our unmatched service is coming through, and it works.
Yeah, we'll talk to Amanda about the phone number. So our partners who do our phone support is Integrity. When they answer the phone, they're answering it as Dryden Fiber. They operate 24/7, 365. I've said this to the operations team, I've said this to the town board. If you have a friend or a neighbor who uses Dryden Fiber and you want to be a hero, don't have them call or text you. Have them call or email Dryden support. We're paying for that. They run 24/7. I had an email from someone who was complaining about service on a Saturday. I think I sent them an email about our yard signs. Then they had my phone number, so they called me on Sunday morning. I was like, maybe our phone support is not working. So I called our 844-8888 option 2 number. Instantly, Integrity picked up as Dryden Fiber, was able to help me. So this customer did not use the support line. They instead called me. Do not call me. Don't call Mark. Don't call Tony or Graham. Welcome, Arthur. Don't call Arthur. Like, we are not able to provide the service as fast and as reliably and as accurate as the company we are paying to do this. So please have your friends, your neighbors, customers, prospective customers use those tools for that unmatched customer service. Amanda, phone update?
I didn't know if you had on the agenda, I have some options on phone numbers if we want to talk about that in this committee, or if you want to wait on that. So if
We could-
it
we
can
could
wait,
talk I didn't hear back, so I wasn't sure if we've been looking for a good number that was not totally random and trying to find an 844 number. Even though there's mathematically like 10,000 options, we had not been able to find one. But maybe Amanda, you want to we jump
yeah,
over there?
just yesterday afternoon, we heard back. We had to go back through First Light to get an 844 number. So we have a list of 600 numbers now that are 607 844. And so now it's a matter of Cassie and I went through and said, these have some nice repeating numbers. We just need to pick one and get the process going. And I said this to Cassie, I said, I don't want to rush into this. I want a number that's going to stick with us. Like, I don't want to change this again, I guess is my point. So, so Dave, what do you want me to send a list of, here's the ones we found that we thought were the best options, and then you just send it out?
You want to read the 600 numbers to us?
I don't want to send you 600. I want to send you like, here's the
if you
10 or
pick,
15 that Cassie and I thought were good options.
yeah, that's fine. If you want to, I mean, anything I think with double digits of the same number sounds better than
yeah, there was a nice 7,500, 7,600, 7,575. You know, this nice, like, just what I think roll off the tongue easily.
Oh, I like 7575.
Yeah,
I used to
me
work
too.
in telecom, so assigning numbers at Cornell was a big thing. And if you had a good number, like
No, that's a
you
good
always
one.
kept it. Yeah. So there's a reason I have 42, 44.
All right, I will send an email with a selection to the committee to get some feedback. But just to let you know, we do have some options.
That's great. Yeah. Don't hear back
Yeah,
from people
then we'll eventually port it and do some things to get into a cheaper phone line. We're not going to stay with First Light. But that was our only way to get an 844 number. So, okay, well, very good. I'll get that out to the committee either later today or Monday.
Awesome. Yeah, it would be good to hear your feedback, committee, on the number, and then get that number acquired and put into our print material. We have a lot of places where we have a phone number. Right now, we have a construction postcard we send out in advance of construction coming to our neighborhood. We have a service now available postcard that we send out once an area turns green. We have a business version of that for business customers, people that we know are businesses that or retail or otherwise. It's a third postcard. We have a card that our partners at Clarity Connect hand to people when we do installations. Like, you're now installed. Here's some things you should know about now that you've had installation. It has a phone number on it. We're doing a fifth one for installations that include underground work because we need to call DigSafe. It takes between 7 and 10 days to actually bury the line. So having them have a special card that says, like, we are going to come back and bury the line. We have to deal with some stuff with DigSafe before we do that. Don't call us every day to ask us when we're going to bury it. We will get to it in about 7 to 10 days. So that's 5 different pieces of material, plus our brochures, which need to be updated, as well as all.
So Dave, the other thing that we should do, I mean, we can sort of keep both of these running for a little bit while, I think, isn't that correct? Yeah. And the other thing would be to send an email. If we have the email for maybe all the billing customers, send a nice clear message that, oh, our support line is now this.
Yeah, the biggest lift is the print material, because we don't want to have a bunch of stuff that doesn't have the right information on it.
Oh no, I agree. So but as part of this, as our better improved communication from a vendor or basically from the municipalities, if we have the means to do it easily, send an email to all your customers. So please. So.
Definitely, good call. We just did that. The next item on the list on the marketing. A few weeks ago, we got our new batch of yard signs in. I emailed right after this meeting 2 weeks ago. I emailed our 130 plus customers, and I think within an hour, 17 of them had written back and said, yes, I'll take a yard sign. So pretty quick, like on a Friday afternoon, people said, yes, I'll take a yard sign for my yard. Then I went out on Monday, I guess 2 weeks ago, Monday the 7th, and I did the installations of the yard signs and installed at over 20 houses in about an hour and a half. I share this report just so I can show you what I did with the town board last night.
You photographed each one of these, didn't you, Dave?
As I drove, when I drove away, one time I did have turnaround. This loads up. Is that working? Do you see it? It's kind of small. Yeah, I took pictures of all the houses, all the yard signs, as I did the installs. It only took about an hour and a half, so it's okay for the executive director to do this, but I think it's also okay if we have someone else do this. It's not that much work, just stick the signs into the ground. And right away, I saw a little bit of an increase in requests, but also the next day, I went to the Dryden High School to talk about Dryden Fiber to their technology class. And this is me on the left pictures with the students. And I asked them if I had bought one of the signs, and I said, has anyone seen these signs? And one of the students said, yes, in my front yard. So like right away, one of the 20 plus signs I put out on Monday was they're all customers, but one of the customers has students in Dryden High School. It was pretty cool. The other thing that happened since we last met was last Friday. Ryan, Dan, Jason, and I spoke at the American Planners Association upstate New York meeting, which was last Friday. Spoke about an hour and a half about an hour and 15 minutes on Dryden Fiber. A lot of Q&A. Not a huge crowd for our presentation, but it was a good chance to go back and talk about the history about Dryden Fiber and why and how and what we've done so far. So new signs are in, and I wanted to share that with you. Any questions on signs right now?
Yeah, how do we get them if we want them?
Right now, I'm having people email me. I emailed everyone and we wrote back. Anyone else who's asked has said, email me, Dave at Dryden Fiber. I'm only installing them right now at homes that have fiber to reduce the confusion about people like, oh, you have it. They're like, no, I don't have it. Oh, you have a sign. So I thought about giving it to everyone who wanted a sign, but now I'm keeping it either on homes that have the service. Does that seem right to everyone else?
Fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Graham has asked for one. I'll drop one off weekend, today or Monday. When you get service, Tony, we'd love to have you have one if you want one.
Yeah, I think I think we're turning on the house on the corner of Hanford and Sims Hill. I think that one's scheduled maybe this week, or I'm not sure. He told me when. He told me that he had it scheduled. And then the guy across the street from him was supposed to call sometime this week and should be signing up.
Oh, wow.
On Sims Hill. So there's a couple on Sims Hill I know are I know there's at least one that's scheduled to be installed, but he told me last week when it was scheduled and I don't remember what he told me.
Would it be Carl Steckroyd?
Carl's the one that just called. He's across the street.
Yeah, he signed up yesterday, I think.
Yeah. He called me, goes, is this the thing you were talking about? He got the postcard. He's like, is this the thing you were talking about? Yes, Carl, I've been telling you all about it.
You got the postcard. That's good. I mean, it's working.
So yeah, so he called. Good. I'm glad. That's good. Yeah, he's very excited. The guy across the road from him is Jim Miner. He told me they were scheduled to come. But anyway, so there's some so we're starting to get some interest on Sims Hill, which is good.
That's good. So I wanted to see if I can find this file. I want to talk about an idea I had for our signs. Oh, this is good. You can see how messy my garage is. I'm getting feedback from someone else who's talking. Who's not. If you're not talking, please mute your device. Thanks. All right, so I was thinking, like, how do we have these signs, they're all over town. They're pretty evenly balanced between Varna, Freeville, Yellow Barn, and Dryden Village, the four main places where we have the service. And I acquired some of these. These are pieces of plastic corrugated material, the same material that the signs are made out of, that I was able to get from a friend of mine who had these. So I use these, and I made this sign where I just took our sign, and using old stakes, I attached a little attachment to it, put now here on it. And I just did it with marker. I actually have it behind me in my office so you can see what it looks like. But I put it in Sharpie, so it's not great, but you know, from a good distance, you can see it now here. The back I put now available, which I didn't thicken it all up because I'm like, this is just for practice. So for fun, I thought we could offer this to our customers who've taken signs and said, hey, we'll give you one of these, write whatever you want. We'll give you metal stakes to stick into the top of your sign, and put whatever favorite message you want about Dryden Fiber, like we love Dryden Fiber, or it's now here, or ask me about Dryden Fiber. It doesn't have to be black and white like the one I put on the screen right now. You can see, just like go for it and make it stand out a little bit more than just seeing these blue and white and black signs all over town. But before I did that, before you start seeing these things marketed on Facebook or Instagram or showing up in your neighborhoods, I wanted to ask the committee, like, what do you think about this project to kind of expand our messaging in the community?
I would also say, like, hey, post this on your social media again, because I think we found that that makes a huge difference.
Oh,
You know, and do we do a little incentive? Half off your next bill. Send us a picture of what you did. Because I'd love to add more tasks to billing, but anyway.
I was thinking about that. I was talking to someone about this. They're like, you could have a contest. You could say, like, everyone do it, and then we'll have the committee can vote on which one they like the most, and whichever one wins, we'll give them a free month of service. Well, one person will get a free month of service.
Yeah, I like that idea better. Anyways, I just think social media is gonna help, is free. I mean, other than somebody putting the picture on, it's putting it out there, so a lot more people.
Cool. I like that idea. Logistically, about doing social media.
So no, I think there's a reason why. The strategy of only placing it in customers, what's behind that? Because I thought we would, you know, are we just trying to raise general awareness, or are we trying to get it focused on where we're actually there? Or we're about to open up. That's sort of the thing. If we took where some of the places we start to open up and put it on the roads that are getting there, you know, so
for the Yellow Barn neighborhood, before we had any customers there, I put some up right on Yellow Barn Road. There's one at the intersection of Yellow Barn and Ferguson. There's one as you come down Yellow Barn down the hill. There was one at the intersection of Ringwood and Yellow Barn, not of Irish Settlement and Ferguson. Actually, at both places, because there's an overlap. Both places where Irish Settlement connects with Ferguson, and basically, like, any place where there's like public access where we can throw a sign, I think that's fine. I think it's confusing if someone might see a yard sign in your yard and be like, oh, you have the service. You're like, actually, I don't have the service. Like, oh, can I get it? Like, no, you can't get it. It's a little easier if it's like, if you're like, I'm a customer, you're a neighbor. But that's just an interpretation. A few months ago, we didn't want to have too many people who were not able to get the service requesting service, but we kind of changed our philosophy a little bit. We want them to pre-register if they can. Ray has his hand up and he's very patient. Ray.
Dave, the incentive behind that is that in town law, the temporary signs are allowed by a contractor to be placed at their place of work. So we ostensibly have the legitimate right to place a Dryden Fiber at a customer's lot. It's not permissible to put signs all over town. to advertise. Those would be off-premises signs that would come under the billboard law. That is why we're only placing them in customers' yards.
Ray, are you going to have Dave arrested?
No.
Well, I was gonna hand this off to the committee to do the installs. That's a good point. We do not expect people to have these signs on their yards forever.
So all the political signs that are up, they are, you know, violating the billboard law.
Political signs have an exception in our
Yeah,
sign.
that's an exception. Yeah.
Temporary, because they'll be gone, hopefully, November 6th.
Hopefully.
Right.
Yeah. You know, I think we should stick with, okay, what we've sort of done then. Yeah, no, that makes, if there's a law, we would definitely want to
Yeah, I mean,
do the right thing here.
you know, like Graham asked about, could we put one in front of Houts Hall, which is the Etna Community Center? I think that'd be great. If they became a customer, it would even be better. There's a few spots around town where there's high traffic, where there are basically campaign signs, political campaign signs that are not owned by, there's no residence, there's no homeowner on those parcels. We could put them there, but it feels like, given the number of signs we have and the number of people who want them, we're not having any problem filling yards of actual customers with signs.
Yeah, and the thing about Etna, we're about to go live right in Etna. So I was waiting, I would not put it there till it went live. That was
Yeah.
my intent. However, but we don't have the posters yet. That was really what I wanted. But if not, could I get some postcards to post? There's a billboard sort of thing that people put little notices in there. I would like to put at least a couple postcards there, or a postcard there that people could scan if we could, Dave. So
Yes. Ray, are you still here? Ray was here.
Yes.
Did you get my email with the posters? And what's this? Where are we at with posters?
Oh, yeah. Joy printed out a couple, so there is one available to pick up at Town Hall.
great. Okay, great.
But yeah, one of the things we talked about was putting one poster in the entranceway of Town Hall. Graham asked for one, so we had a second one printed for Houts Hall, which is also the post office in Etna. So it's like really perfect place. Everyone has to go there to get that. You know, we could put one in the Village Hall in Freeville. The Village of Freeville is a customer of ours, so it would be okay to have them put a poster up. I have not been in their hall, I mean, in years.
And I don't know if there are post offices like ours where you could post something on the out, you know, there or not, but you might want to ask them. That's a place where people go into a lot. So,
Graham, if you'd like postcards, send me an email. I'll make sure they're with the poster when you pick it up.
okay, yeah, a few of them, 5 or so would be great. So yeah.
I'll leave them there next week.
Okay, perfect. So
Cool. Great.
and
Yeah, I
you
guess
can
for-
leave Dave, do you want to leave the signs there too, or whatever you prefer? So
it's probably easier for me to bring those to you versus going past your house to
okay,
from where I am in Caroline. So I'll start to roll out this sign contest fun thing and see if there's any takers. See if you have any artists in the community who are also Dryden Fiber residents, who also are people who want signs in their yard. If there's an overlap, we'll see what those look like. So the next one I have the take rate customer base goals and efforts to reach the goal. I started working with the operations team maybe like a month ago to try to estimate what trends look like within the town across Dryden Fiber. So I want to show you this trend tool, this trend thing we started. This is called Trends Reports 2024 Q3. So this first one is the customer base. It's showing, if I make that a little smaller, there we go. This is by our month-to-month reporting since we started doing monthly reports. So February 26 residential, 6 commercial, 32 total. And then you see the reporting numbers of here through the end of August. I haven't pumped in the September numbers. October's still going. So you can see the growth and the trend line. We also have one that Amanda put together. It's pretty nice on revenue. nice little hockey stick of this last few months, June, July, basically right after MIP grant funding was announced, and we had that huge increase of green zone that Hunt released to us from all the work construction done had completed. Big uptake, big increase in revenue. We also have one where we start tracking installations per month. And this is only up through August. We had 36 installations, I think, in September. So that's also going to follow the same lines as revenue. And then we have a few other ones that we haven't built out yet, like website visits, property owner agreements, customer service calls.
Can we just back out to the revenue one?
Yep.
Would it be possible to put the break-even point of our monthly?
We can do that.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
That's about 15K, so we're about half.
Yeah,
Halfway.
when it gets on enough scale, maybe though. But yeah, so.
It's a good question.
And then eventually we want to look at paying down the other piece of it. But yeah, so that'd be nice.
Yeah,
to see,
you know,
but I don't think that would work with any of this right now. So, but
yeah, I mean, just looking back to February with the customer base, February, March, we had 37, 32 customers. It wasn't really enough to see trend lines.
Yeah.
But since the massive increase in green zone has translated into a big increase in customer base. So I didn't do a lot of work on this. I started thinking about this, which is the take rate. So the thing to focus on here are these percentages, not the chart, which is we had approximately 650 parcels in August and 91 customers. We had about 300, a huge increase that we released in September. We also had a big increase in number of customers, adding 35 customers, which is great. But when we think about the total number of potential that we have, we're not even at 20%. So I explained this to someone else earlier this week. Said, if we think about product adoption, you have those early adopters, people who are like, I'll try anything, even if it doesn't work, I'll just try it out because it's new. I like those things. That tends to be about 15% of the population. They just like, they'll try, they have like the newest iPhone, they wait in line. Then you have the early majority, they start seeing other people try it, so they try it. Then you have like the late majority, they do it because everyone else is doing it, they jump on board. And then the last group is the laggards. The only reason they have cell phones is because you can't get a rotary phone anymore. So we're kind of doing what we would expect, which is we release this thing out there. We've spent very little on marketing overall, some social media, and we're doing about 15%. So kind of like what we might expect from early adopters. The question is, what goal does the town have to reach a deeper level of customer base? Because what we're looking at for the construction is we'll be at 3,000, 4,000 homes in the next year where we can provide service. Our goal right now is to be at about 1,000 of them, which is about 25%. How much effort do we want to spend to go and get the other 85% of population? And what ideas do you have for the timeline to do that, or methods to get there? It's a pretty open question. Or is this like, this is okay, like let's maintain this, build a network, trust a network, help those early adopters be really happy. And then at some other point say like, now we really want to like really saturate and get to the ultimate goal, which is 50% is the take rate that was established before I was here as kind of the break-even operations number.
Yeah, I mean, I think at some point you'll have to re-canvas areas that we've already notified. Just
yeah, but because we should be at the map and target at some point and start targeting the ones that haven't done it. But I think it's going to snowball a bit as when people talk to each other, their neighbors. I think that, and especially in the villages, I think that's definitely going to happen. So
yeah, I think.
But we have to have it available for them to do it before we really push.
Yeah, and
So,
the other thing too, Dave, like we can actually do an insert with the property tax bills too,
Oh,
which would be
Ooh.
some way to reach all the landlords who might not be in the area but own property, to let them know that if they have renters and they want them to have this available to them, we can, they can, we can make it easy for them, I suppose, if you and give them a sample form that would let us have access.
oh, for landlords.
For
Yeah,
landlords.
I can work with Amanda.
Otherwise, just some kind of notice, because we usually put an insert in. Anyhow, just if there's something like a, I don't know, something like, say, trying to think of the last one we did. It was about, there was something about, usually if there's something having to do with like a tax abatement or something, that we would do an insert anyway, or if there's something about like some unusual change, like we had a couple years ago with the ambulance fee, we put an insert in explaining it. So this, just having something, letting people know where to go to check if it's available, how to sign up, and then let them know if they are a landlord, they have rental property and they want their tenants to have access, then these are the steps you need to take.
Yeah, I think I can work with the town clerk, tax collector, and Amanda on putting something together. Okay.
And the other thing is that, figuring out the cut the cord, the TV, the streaming that people will want. We have not done on our website. I don't think there's great ways of at least getting to things that cut the cord, or how you're going to get those services, because that's what will hold up quite a few customers, I believe. So especially since it's getting bundled, even though you can, and I think there's definitely solutions out there, but that's going to be the hard one to be clear to, and it might be that we have to actually go talk to people. I don't know about it, so
Yeah, that's a good point. We should have some kind of a tool that people can use to understand how to cut the cord. I think I've been asking for anyone who has cut the cord to share their story. I haven't found anyone who was willing to like even give me 5 minutes of like, here's what I did to cut the cord. I don't know if it's because all of our customers are like, I don't really like cable. I never used network TV, so it didn't impact me.
I'm playing with my antenna now, Dave, so I'll let you know. I actually got it to pick up some stuff, because the problem with Dryden is the reception is not great. So
Yeah.
So.
All right, so that's stuff on marketing, signs. I guess like think about where you are as far as being on the public broadband committee regarding the take rate goals, how much effort you want to go in. The rest of the updates are really around construction, mapping, permitting, MIP. There hasn't been an update, I think, since the last 2 weeks. We did one about 2 weeks ago that was a big part of town. So, Brian, do you want to talk through kind of that update from 2 weeks ago and a little bit about what you think might be coming in the next 48 hours?
Yes. So previous update was Johnson Road, since you're right there.
Good.
Get that one. So Johnson Road south of the rail trail became live. So all those parcels turned green. That was a big update. The Empire Overlash, which traverses west from Freeville along Mott Road, or east along Mott Road, I'm sorry. Continues down, dips down into the buried north pit portion of the town of the village of Dryden, and then doglegs back up north on 13 and down Sims Hill Road, and eventually that far road there that goes to the tower. I forget the
Walker.
Yeah, Walker Road. Yep. And I was just Sims Hill Road, or Hanford Drive. There's a little island of yellow.
Yeah.
That's been that's called in, so that the underground construction will occur soon. So that should kind of wrap up that general area.
Great.
Yeah, that's my little island of yellow right there.
Yeah,
You're coming.
can't go to
Good.
Simsolo Road without bringing up Hanford Drive. So those were two big updates. We are right now, I think as we're speaking, working on Village of Drive. Actually, you can see them now because I think it's currently in process. So those parcels that are clear right now,
Oh, these right here.
yeah, Mill Street. Joel's like literally in the process of updating those to be green.
Nice.
Ryan, what's the process? So I was down on, if you go up just a little bit from where you are on Lewis, that yellow on the left there, that's, what's the name of that road there? I can't think of it.
Berkshire
Yeah,
or Brookside.
Brookside. Yeah, I was down there and it looks like the work is done, but is there still stuff they have to go back for, or?
Yes, the underground's work is done. The cable's pulled, and the
Right.
splicing will occur. I think next week or the week after that.
Got it. And so there's that extra, so they'll lay the cable and then there's then they have to go back and do like all the things to light it up.
Well, they
Splicing.
splice and then they test, right?
Yeah.
You gotta
Basically
get
at
clear.
the same time, yeah, because
Yeah,
they don't.
yeah.
More importantly, on the overhead work, like it's better to just test it while you're up in the bucket truck.
Right.
So they do that, but in the underground, it's the same. They don't leave without testing it, and they just try to hit it once.
And we can only go green when we can actually give service to the house. Basically,
Right.
that's
Yes.
what we agreed on. So
Yep.
because that'd be nice.
But
that section should be going green soon, right? Because that one's.
yes, yeah.
Mhm.
Also, over in Etna, Graham sent some pictures over, and I know the map's being updated now. Etna Lane, north of the rail trail, into there, and then they made some progress on the Lower Creek Road,
Mhm.
and I
They're
have
almost all the way down to Wood. At least
Yeah,
the cable's all the way down to Wood. I don't know. At least from what I
so
can
I gotta
see.
I gotta call and catch up with Chris after this meeting from Lightspeed to see how far he made it.
Are they going up Wood?
Yes, they're going up Wood, and then they're taking a right on Etna Road and completing what we call I call the Etna Square.
Mhm.
Oh, they gotta cover that square. Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
And then
Yeah.
because and I think Tracy said he heard from him, the guy that there's two trailer parks there. There's Country Manor Estates, which is right at the top, and then there's the one that's right in Etna.
Yeah, this Fall Creek Park.
Yeah,
What
the same guy owns both of those. And I
Western Lane?
One's on Lower Creek and the other one's on Wood Road.
Right,
Yeah.
Carl Westerling owns those. You said you heard from him, right, Tracy?
There's
Yep.
one on Wood Road.
Yes,
Where's that?
it's
It's right-
99 Wood Road.
It's right there at the top of the map, up right there. You can see Country Manor Estates. Oop, up.
Right here.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah, I missed that.
It's 99 Wood Road, and then building numbers. Yeah,
Yeah, but anyway, it's the same guy,
coming.
and I think Tracy said he'd heard from him, so I think Tracy's working on getting permission to go into those.
Yes, he actually called me this week. We're gonna get together next week, so he can give us what his plan is for how we can get in there.
Right.
So one thing I would invite people to do is I sent out the mid-month report for October. Ryan and his team took all the permits and color coded them. I showed these on the screen 2 weeks ago. Ryan and Kate and the team from Hunt displayed these. It looks a little bit like this.
Yep.
And you can zoom in and see the application number, the status of the application as of October 1st. But ultimately, you can see right where things are going to be and when we expect them to be going green.
Where's the Caswell Road feeding from? The
Mill
Caswell.
Street in Freeville.
Okay.
It is from Mill Street.
Mill Street.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, it comes. This
I
is.
know there was construction out on Caswell. I was just wondering how they were getting there.
Yeah, so we left off on Mill Street right at the border of Freeville,
Yep, got
the
it.
village. And we're gonna continue up Mill Street head west on West Dryden Road,
Yep.
and the cable is all ran from Mill Street all the way up to Caswell, and then there's a small underground section on Caswell that we're working on to tie into the upper part of Caswell. There's just a small section where the poles go away, and it's just it's actually cable poles. So we have a small, I think it's like 1,200 feet of underground on Caswell, and then the rest of it goes right up to the border.
Got it.
Yeah, so that's like that's right after the Aetna activation. So that'll be another big milestone. And then they're working out also on Bone Plain Road. But application 6, I believe, is gonna hold that up just in the, yeah. Yep.
Yeah. 6. Oh, there's no color on 6. It's this is Bone Plain, east-west.
Right.
So you have a copy of this map. If you have questions, email Ryan directly, email me, say like, what's this look like? Anything holding us up, or people want to know. It's a lot of detail. Ryan and I looked at the Empire Network website yesterday. Their website map is broken. You can't even see any of their network. like the level of detail that you have as a public property committee that the public can come and see during these meetings and that we're putting on the website is basically like unlike any broadband provider anywhere, like anywhere. So we're trying to give as much information as we can. Also, Ryan and his team, getting this yellow zone with the commitment to get this all into the green before the end of the calendar year. We're now about 85 days from the end of the year. 75 days, sorry. We're making a lot of progress. You can't really see it because it's all going to just turn green, a little blips and blobs across. But when you look at this and then you look at what we have in that mid-month report from October, you can kind of see the different places where we're building and where we're going to be coloring this in. I believe we'll use the same methodology into 2025 and 2026 as we go into the MIP zones, because each of those is done by permit in permits of around 150 telephone poles.
That's correct.
So each of these legs, these orange legs that come off of Dryden, where the current network is, are just different permits. There'll be different color codes. We'll know the status of each of them and where we are in the construction process, all the way into the Caroline pieces.
I got to say that the map with this, with the street addresses or the streets on it now, is like, this is way better to find stuff. You can find stuff really quick now.
Yeah, I've gotten good feedback on this.
I've never seen anyone do a broadband map by parcel, but I think this is a really good way to do it, especially if you've got to cover like 100% of households in a town or whatever, because there's only one approach from any one particular parcel where you come in on. So to have the green and yellow status, like sometimes it looks wonky where, you'll have green and then you'll, 2 parcels over, you'll have yellow, but it is accurate as far as, what can be installed. So.
Well,
Yeah, and those places where you have, sorry, those places where you have green and the yellow's right next door, those people are like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Like Tony, surrounded by green.
Well, I know why mine is, but yeah, there's.
Yeah, and you've informed your neighbors too. I'm certain of it.
But the other thing that makes it look a little wonky sometimes is those large parcels, like like the one off of Mott Road that includes the school district.
Yeah.
Right. That it looks like a huge property. It looks like they're actually on 38, but we aren't on 38, right? Although you did turn Poets Landing green. How's that feeding?
Yeah, we've got cable right outside there.
Yeah, the problem is they got some really good deals, so
they're not letting us in, right?
We aren't competitive there yet.
So is the school property being fed from both sides now? Is it being fed from 38 and from Mott Road?
No, it's just being fed from the bus garage is up there on Mott Road.
Bus garage is up there.
And they have a parcel that connects the two.
Yeah.
But we have cable right on Freeville Road.
Okay.
Right. So we would there's a dip pole right by the main entrance of the school we would just go down there.
We have been talking to them a little while. We believe they're going to want all 4 buildings connected, which is the high school, middle school, the Freeville Elementary School, the elementary school in the village of Dryden, which is down here,
Mhm.
and then the Cassavant School in McLean, which is just over the town line. We will be able to reach that when we hit the rest of McLean. I believe once we have all those green, we can go to the school and say, we can put you on our network.
Yep. And they'll probably want to do the bus garage too,
Yeah, I
which
imagine.
is actually the backside of the, it's on Mott Road,
Yeah.
the backside.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's solving that BOCES issue that they're getting it through via, I think, probably Spectrum, but yeah, so.
But there's really 2 different ways we could help them. There's connecting all their schools and then using one internet connection to go out to the outside world. So we can definitely help them connect all their schools together with fiber. And then they do have that E-rate contract with an outside service provider, which we'd like to be, but we definitely could help them with fiber to each building aside from their internet service, if that's something they wanted to do.
And I think that most of these entities, like the schools, they are looking for a secondary connection to have a backup in case something happens too. That's what I've been informed of.
That's right. I think because they're, enterprise level, they're using this to run the school. They have that backup. So just a quick look at this map, because Rick did ask a question in the chat. Yellow is 2024. Blue, the goal is by June 30th of 2025. Orange is the MIP, which is no later than December 31st, 26. But some of that will be done in 2025 as we work our way south into Caroline.
Plan, like, if we look at this map,
yeah,
where the brown is, or what do you call that color? Gold, brown,
or orange down here.
Orange. Okay. There's a couple routes. There's one that goes out southward. There's one that goes right down. Because Caroline covers pretty much all the southern border, right? So there's a couple different routes, and I'm assuming. I mean, are we going to build out towards Caroline, or is the idea to build a main line to Caroline and then build out Caroline and work backwards?
Ryan can probably answer the specifics about what we're trying to do with this. There's 2 goals.
Yeah, I mean, I personally think the best approach would be to build these routes, and as you approach the border of Caroline, just move into Caroline,
right,
and then start to build out Caroline's network, because really, we have the Dryden portion of this is called phase 2 of the MIP. And then Caroline would be phase 3. So we kind of have it phased like that. That approach of building right to Caroline and then, going back up, I mean, that would also work. But I would just build out the apps until you get to Caroline and just continue to Caroline.
Because, there's that far eastern route, there's kind of the 2 middle routes down, and then there's one on the west side, right? So but that's also covering the underserved addresses in Dryden, right? That's why.
Right, that's the secondary goal. Yeah. So MIP for Dryden and for Caroline is to reach all unserved and underserved. So again, Ryan and his team at Hunt pinpointed where every underserved and unserved location is, and then said, how do we get to those with our existing ring? And here's all different pathways. Right. And secondarily, how do we also get into Caroline? So some of these, I believe this part, like this is like Shut Road over here.
Yeah,
Scott, 38. I don't even know if there's houses on some of these parcels.
There is
not a lot.
I think there's only like one on what is it, Scott Road there, whatever that is.
Yeah, like this is like Hartford, Dryden Road. Canaan is over here. And part of that, I think a couple of these houses are actually in town of Dryden.
Right.
So like it was like, how do we reach these houses that don't have any service? And also while we're there, can we get right in and plug into the Caroline network?
Right.
I don't just to speak really quickly on these MIP applications that we see in the south of Dryden. they are moving through the NICEAG system much more rapidly. Must be because the Connect All office has set some kind of priority. You know, so I think we're even going to see some bid this year for electrical make ready, which puts us, you know, really ahead of what we had in the schedule. So whatever the Connect All office is doing, we've seen some improvement there with how quickly the applications are moving. So.
Yeah. So can I ask for kind of a reality check?
No, yes.
We have a lot of yellow, which is supposed to be by December 31st, right? 24. Is it realistic that all that yellow is going to turn green by December 31st? We're at October 18th now. Is it real? And again, I'm not being critical. I'm just curious. Is it realistic to say all that's going to turn green by December?
I think the short answer is it's not all going to be green by December 31st.
Right.
But it is more to do with permitting.
Oh, yeah.
After permitting is complete, electrical has to come in before we can start any of our construction. And electrical was sidetracked by a couple giant hurricanes in the southeast.
Right.
Our primary electrical vendor is Richardson, and they sent us photos from their team on the ground in the southeast of North Carolina, Georgia, Florida, where they're doing electrical repair. They also told us like they sent like the Richardson helicopter to go down and do work. Like they're like all hands on deck helping out with getting people to restore electricity before they come and provide the electrical service we need to bring broadband to these places. So that is going to slow us down. I still think based on permit applications, all these different statuses that are defined in this document that you have a copy of, I feel pretty good about being done by the end of Q1.
Right.
But I don't want to like I don't want our partners at Syracuse Utilities, the splicing partners we have, anyone be like, oh, let's just coast along till March. Like Ryan is really focused on getting to where we want to be by December 31st.
I get it. I mean, I think I think we're on track for a lot of it to be green by December 31st. I just look at, that's an awful lot of yellow, especially when you think about the amount of underground work that's still going on, right? I just,
yeah, I think a lot of this is aerial.
Just curious. That's all.
Yeah, we sat down with Ryan and I sat down with Syracuse Utilities, who's our primary installation company for aerial, and talked about and Kate, who's from Hunt, is here too. We looked at the number of miles. Actually, Kate's not here anymore. Number of miles per permit to hit all the poles, the number of miles that Syracuse Utilities can do per week. Once electrical make ready is completed, they hand the material back to us so Ryan can give the maps to Syracuse Utilities to go do the work. And it was like, we have enough resources available to hit these miles that are in this yellow on time.
Cool. That's good.
We just can't have any hurricanes.
Right.
You know, and I'll also add that like some challenges that with the aerial work, the cable goes up a lot faster. The splicing happens at the same pace.
Right.
So that's what we've noticed is that the Syracuse Utilities put all the cable up on a couple of applications a little bit ahead of what they told us they would. But then the splicing is going to take the same pace as that it does with the underground, kind of no matter what. So just working through getting the electrical crew out of there, Syracuse Utilities crew in there, which goes really quick, and then having the splicers come in to activate everything at basically the same pace they had. So as we've gone out into the rural areas and excuse me, are getting more into the aerial, it's a little bit different of a dynamic.
Right.
So we're saying this red area, all is here is Dryden 7. Is that true? Both 38 and this part of West Dryden and Nemai and part of Hanshaw
Yeah, is Kate on?
and Wood?
She might have had to get off.
Yeah, Kate's not here. I mean, we're a little bit over our 11:30. So this is Dryden 007. It says status is telco make ready. It says it's State Route 38 North, but that's probably what I wrote from a previous slide. I think it does include this Nemai. I know Rick is in the meeting. He's in the chat. I think he's on Nemai. He's just trying to figure out how close he is. I'm going to say within 6 months, possibly by the end of the year. It's really, this is a electrical thing that then leads to the construction, splicing, and then the completion that we have to do to get it out there. So maybe by the end of the year. I don't know, like I said, we're definitely, but I feel really good about March 31st, but probably even better somewhere between December 31st and January 31st. Again, all things being equal with electrical, because we haven't received this yet from the utility, the red zone.
So I just want to clarify, Ryan, we're going to publish a few more green areas next week, early next week.
Yeah, we're working on them right now.
Okay.
So the goal is to get them out by today.
Okay.
But I would anticipate that like if there are installations in the queue, that would occur next week.
Yeah. If you could drop me an email when Aetna goes, I'd love it. So get some people off my back. So they're pretty excited. So
Yeah. So one thing that we'll talk about with the process is when the map turns green, it triggers off a few other things that Hunt does on behalf of the project. They will send a list of all the addresses to Gleeman, which is Tracy's on the call, as well as Amanda. Amanda can take those addresses and send postcards to all those residents. Tracy will then take that list and look at everyone who's already used the request service form, and he'll go through line by line with this new set of addresses and reach out to people with Integrity's help and say, hey, it's now green. Would you like service? So they don't have to wait for it to be green for us to reach out to them. They can register now.
yeah, well, they are registered. Do you want them to re-register? You know, some of them are registered multiple times. So
No,
what do you want me to tell them?
don't have them re-register.
That does
Okay,
not help.
okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
It just creates more confusion on the sign-up sheet when we've
Okay.
got somebody signed up 62 times. So if they've
okay.
already registered, they don't need to register because I'll find them and we'll get them a call so that they can get on the schedule.
Okay. If I send you a few particulars, Tracy, can you?
You can check.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Okay.
I know,
great.
like,
Thank you.
for instance, there's a whole bunch of people on that Nemai Road. There's lots of them already signed up, and they're jonesing for the service, just like Rick said. So,
yeah.
So the third thing that happens, the map gets updated, the lists go to Gleeman, Integrity, and Amanda, and the third is the KMZ file, which is the technical file that Clarity Connect uses to know exactly which handholds or which places we're going to plug in for each of the individual houses, because each of those only has 8 ports. We've done a lot of the homework, and we, as like, Hunt has designed this and given this to the installation construction teams so that they can build to this plan that says every house in the green zone, we already know if they want service, where we're going to plug them in. So there's no guessing. So that third file that goes to Clarity Connect gives them the exact, like, it's the treasure map. Like, this person wants service, great, we know exactly where to plug them in. All 3 of those things happen, and we're good to go. We'll get people installed within 2 weeks.
3-part process.
We are a bit over. I think the only thing on the agenda I want to just make sure we cover, making progress with MIP. Amanda, Ryan, and I and the MIP team meet every week with New York State to talk about where we are with the process. That includes the grant disbursement agreement, which we're going to be working through this month and next month, the budget for 2025, the reimbursement and financial pieces. So a lot of stuff's happening on MIP. Other parts related to MIP indirectly is we applied for BEAD funding, pre-qualified. We've been approved. Our package has been accepted for pre-qualification for them to review it and let us know if we could be getting any money from BEAD for anything that we have. So we're just following that process. The third one on grants is housing infrastructure. We're slowing down on our work on that. It's a lot of work, and the effort might not be worth the amount of time to apply for that. It's not really our forte. Could be a bit of a distraction from what we're trying to do with MIP funds and the existing network, but we're still working to communicate with Connect All Office about getting that submitted. Our next meeting is on Friday, November 1st. I've asked all the partners, subcontractors, vendors to get their entire month of October data in so we can share it on November 1st. There may be some gaps because we could be doing installs or billing up until the 29th, 30th, 31st, and might not be in the report on the 1st, but we'll do our best that when we meet in 2 weeks on the 31st, or on the 1st, that we'll have a complete look at what October was for the organization. I can hang around for another 10, 15 minutes if anyone has any questions. Other than that, thank you all. Thank you, Ryan, for all the detail on everything, and everyone else for helping out. Any questions people have? Not going anywhere. Mark, question or saying goodbye?
Yeah, no, I have a question, but anyway, and sorry to be late, but I will plan to join this meeting regularly, consistently, and others from Carol, maybe Kate too, I think, or
Mark is the town supervisor, town of Caroline.
Yeah,
our partners in this project. Go ahead, Mark.
Thanks, Dave. So I just I don't know if this is the right place to ask about this, but Jeff Smith did ask the other day about the seeker process for Caroline, and I didn't know if I had understood that was already done, but I just wanted to see if this is something that I need to tend to. If anyone has any information. So
Dryden did a seeker at the beginning of their project for the whole town and had that as their seeker. In another project we're working on for MIP, they did not have a seeker done yet, and we put it to the Connect All office about if we needed to do a seeker. But they did a cursory environmental review as part of the MIP application and made a negative declaration on that. So what I'm trying to do in the other place, and we should do the same for you, is get documentation of that negative declaration of a need for a seeker. So the short answer is the Connect All office has told us they've already taken care of all the environmental review for this. And I've just asked them for documentation in other place. I'll do the same for Caroline.
Excellent. That's wonderful news. Thank you.
Ryan,
actually, we'll put that
we
in
may
the-
want to coordinate that with bond counsel to make sure that that'll be sufficient, or if the town has to take their own, adopt their own resolution.
Oh, great point. Yeah. Yeah, I will put that on our agenda for our Monday meeting, our Tuesday meeting with MIP.
Okay, super, great.
Got it there.
Great. Good. Thanks, Ryan. Thanks, Jeff. Yep.
Good question. Thanks, Mark.
I just want to check on status since Jeff is on and Mark is on regarding the budget for Town of Caroline and funding for Town of Caroline. Just, is there anything that you need from me, Ryan, Dave for that process right now?
I think what we were looking for is the split of the grant between Caroline and Dryden. So Caroline can have their own budget to determine the sizing of their bond resolution.
I thought I sent that.
I don't think I've seen it.
Oh, we had that done.
Yeah, I thought I sent that over. Okay, yeah, Jeff, I sent that form, the one that, because you and I had a phone call about it, because I was like, did I do the right thing? Shoot, did I not connect? Did I replied, but did I not, did I not attach the document? Because I'm looking at my send going, there's nothing attached to it. Do you have an email from me on the 7th of
Hold
October?
on just a second. Yep.
And I want to send it to Mark also and Dave, and it's possible.
Monday. It said, the one I got, if it went through at 3:33 p.m.,
Yes.
there was no attachment to it. You said I have updated the.
Yeah. Okay, I'll resend that today. I'm so sorry, Jeff and Mark.
That's okay. Thank you, Amanda.
Yeah, I had it all done, figured it all out and did the form and totally just forgot to attach the form. So I will get that taken care of.
Oh, great, thanks. And then Caroline does have ARPA money, and they've also got an agreement on a reimbursement basis with Tompkins County. So Amanda, as we get into the details of that, we can kind of determine if it's better just for the Caroline to turn its ARPA money right over to you as part of the bank. And then as the draw requests come in for Tompkins, we can get them over. I don't know, we'll have to talk about flow of funds on that.
Yeah, I think we actually have, there's already been invoices for permitting that have come through and they've been sent all to Mark and Kate and Velvet at that, with the thought that they would just go ahead and pay those out of their funds. And then basically my thought was, is once they run out of that money, it switches over to Town of Dryden with the funds that they're going to borrow.
So as they pay those bills, we could do a monthly report to you with the tab sheets and invoices and.
Yeah, yep. In fact, I've already gotten some I've already have copies of the ones that I am aware of. I mean, unless there's additional ones that Mark has gotten. So, and I think that's partially just to keep track of the budget, you know, to ensure that, okay, yep, they've done their local share and et cetera, that was budgeted in the agreement.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that's the starting point. If we need to change that, we can, but I know there are already some invoices that have come through for permitting. And Mark, I did send them to you, right? Mark, did I mess that up too?
Yeah. Those checks went into the mail this morning. We approved them on Wednesday night. And we have incurred some previous expenses that we've for Hunt's services for the feasibility study and some of the initial work. So we have some expenditures. We've been reimbursed from the county for some of that. So I'm presuming that's okay to do it that way.
Yeah, Mark, I think what we'll do then, we'll start doing monthly reports. And we've got a report format because we're going to have to get audited.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to differentiate ARPA funds from state funds and all the rest. So okay, we can start that right now and start giving monthly updates to the groups.
Okay. Great. And I think, as you know, between the county funds, which is about 132,000, and then the town's ARPA, our total available funds is about $470,000. So
great.
That's what our thinking was, and that all fits within Caroline's local share. And so we figured we would just pay that out as we go.
Sounds good.
Okay, super. Great, thanks.
Thanks, Mark and Jeff and Amanda and everyone else who got to hear how the sausage is being made. Mark's still here. I want to thank Mark. I forgot to thank Mark earlier. We're updating the website. It's in Drupal, which I don't know, but Mark does enough to help get things updated. So I did update the FAQ page. There's a new billing section that Amanda helped to write within the FAQ. It probably will answer almost every question that people might have, frequent or not, about billing. Check it out. It's on the website. And Mark has helped out with some of the formatting so it doesn't look like garbage, because when I do it, I make weird little tag errors in HTML and it doesn't look pretty.
I just want to point out it's not a Drupal thing. It's just this,
the Dave thing.
This particular instance. Drupal's getting its name dragged through the mud a little bit.
Drupal's great. It's whoever built this site for us. It wasn't Mark or me.
Mhm.
Mark has been very helpful in making sure it's working. Mark Whitmer has a question or saying goodbye.
Yeah, no, I still have a question. Yeah, or a comment. So I talked to somebody locally who asked about whether the map that was published, the sort of skeleton map that came out when we got the grant. We have a poster board of it here. Is that on the website, or should it be, or should it not be, or just they wanted to see it. But if that's anyway, just wanted to ask about that.
Yeah, it's a good question. We could put that on the website. I don't think it's in the Dryden Fiber Winds unprecedented $8.9 million grant. We could put it on that blog article now that we have a final version approved by us and New York State of that poster. That'd probably be a good place for it.
Great. That would be wonderful. I think it'd be great.
Thought I saw it somewhere, but I guess I'm not seeing it now.
Yeah, it's in our report that I send out in the monthly report.
Yeah.
It's like the third page. Every time you go to the town board meeting where the Dryden Fibers providing a report, it's like the third slide shows the map. However, it's not on our website.
But I agree with you that grant blog article is probably the best place to. If we can put it there, that would probably be the best place to put it.
Yeah, we can stick it in there. That's a good question, Mark.
That one, yeah.
Yeah. This is the one that we have a poster of this that we put together. So yeah, I can put this on that webpage, and if I blow it up, Mark also can help me fix it.
Excellent. Thank you. That's great.
Cool. Other things. We're almost at record time. I think record time is 12:02, so 3 more minutes.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Good information.
A lot of stuff happening all at once, and appreciate all your help, everyone across the board, getting this built, paid for, and then having people sign up for it.
Yeah.
And get installed.
Cool.
Have a good weekend. See you in 2 weeks.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.